They're a special kind of automotive paint. So I started working with automotive paints, when I came into the studio after a while. Uh, you can see some of the canvases there, and then from that was a little bit of a those are sketches, and I was trying to change from what I was doing earlier. I I was a lot into the core series, and I wanted to somehow change the way the hand moved a little bit, and so I got into these. And if now I'll make you photograph something outside because there's Dick Donker's work just outside my studio, right there, like 15 feet away. And I'm watching that every day. I come back from lunch, I'm looking at that in the sunlight. And Dick Donker has worked a lot on, that work is on a metal sheet. That's enameling. And I said, oh, but enameling, that's very difficult. We talked around. I talked to Douglas, who was around when Dick Donker did that work. And he said, well, very difficult because, there's only some guy. At that point, there was one guy in Paris who used to do these big trays, and you can't do those sizes anymore. So I thought about it and I said, well, what can work is automotive paints. Though painting on aluminum sheets is not new in Choromandal. The KCS Panikar used to paint on aluminum sheets, but with oil paints. So this is how things happen. Like I said, nothing happens automatically, and you're not some. I will be the last one to claim originality at that point of time. If you can be a little bit authentic to yourself, to what you want to say, that's good enough, I think. And that was fantastic. To have all that around, osmotically you pick it up, and I said, okay, let's try working on this. And this is a series that came out. And these are all duco paints, which is the run-of-the-mill